Common sense answers for today's complicated questions. It's Istook Live from the Heritage Foundation with Ernest Istook.
What would you do? Let's see. If you had a chance to build something, you build it and they will come and you can create jobs and help restore the economy, put people back to work. What would you choose to do? And, for that matter, are you having difficulty finding work? Friends, family that are having challenges of that? What do you do about it? 202-675-1780, 202-675-1780. Now, one thing that's being done, not with the purpose of boosting the economy, but with the consequence of boosting the economy, is the Keystone XL pipeline. Michael Whatley with the Consumer Energy Alliance is joining us right now to talk about this. And Michael, you've been promoting this for quite some time in the interest of the American consumer, although the company, of course, is doing it out of that terrible profit motive. What say you to that?
Well, I tell you what, you've got a company that is willing to invest $12 billion into the U.S. economy. It will work on a project. They're not asking for any government financing. All they need is a permit to be able to go. This is a job that the Obama administration just last week put out a study saying would create 47,000 jobs in the United States and would create $20 billion economic growth here in the United States. And again, this is a company trying to invest in the United States and help out down here and cannot get a permit. They've been working on this for over 4 years now, and we've seen delay after delay after delay.
4 years worth of delay. I wish I could say that were a world record. There are a lot of projects out there that the federal government has slowed up for even more than 4 years, but 4 years is way too long. Why? Why does it take that long?
It unfortunately is taking way too long in a field where there has never been a process that has taken anywhere near this long. When the Department of State initially started looking at Keystone XL, they were told, we were told by the State Department they've never turned down a pipeline application before, and as long as the company files their paperwork correctly, that the process should take 18 to 24 months. Clearly, we've blown way through that. And in fact, the president did last year, for political reasons, turn down the permit, rejected a permit application for it. And now here we are with a second application, a revised application, and we're working on it. So, clearly they have allowed the environmental concerns that have been raised by anti-pipeline activists, anti-development activists all around the country to drive the review that they've taken on this thing. And it's gone way beyond what the Department of State is actually supposed to analyze. And unfortunately, it's putting American drivers, energy consumers in a lurch. And it certainly kept, these 40,000 plus jobs on the sideline. The fact that the labor unions, the pipe fitters, the steel workers and others strongly support this thing, you would think would be able to push the White House into a reasonable position here.
But aren't you supposed to do something to, pay tribute to the environmental movement, throw them some sort of bone on this? I mean, you said it'll bring down gasoline prices. It'll put 47,000 people to work. It's a $12 billion investment. And it's not even a new pipeline. It's called the Keystone XL because it's an extension of the existing Keystone pipeline. I mean, this is the type of thing that most people would say, well, sure, you had me way ago. So you got to tell people why. Why in the world would some people say that this is a bad thing?
Well, again, I think that when you go back to the allegations that the anti-pipeline activists have put against this thing, every single one of their major claims has been refuted. And they haven't just been refuted by pro-pipeline advocates like Consumer Energy Alliance or by TransCanada. They've been refuted by the Obama administration. The Obama administration said that this will be the safest pipeline ever built in North America. They said that there would be no significant environmental impact coming from this pipeline, and they acknowledged the economic and jobs benefits of it. So the groups that are fighting this pipeline are saying that it will raise climate change emissions, that it will cause climate change. We now have two different studies by the Obama administration themselves that say that this will not increase carbon emissions, and that if you stop this pipeline, you will not stop development of the Canadian oil sands.
So it seems like it just boils down to party lines. I mean, you've got we hate big oil. You got the peace activists and the Sierra Club and all of the environmentalists, and then they're on Obama's side, and so Obama's just holding firm. And then you have a regular Joe American and conservatives who like oil, who like cars, and who like to have jobs. And
there's no question.
And that's all it is. It's just a game of politics, and it's costing Americans jobs, and it's costing me money every time I have to fill up at the gas tank and at the gas station, and it's $3 plus or $4 plus, or God forbid you live in California and it's $5 plus. I mean, come on, this isn't Europe. This is America. We have gas. We have oil. We have all these things at our disposal. And
one of the studies that we did last week actually shows that the price differential between the Canadian and the United States oil that this pipeline would bring down to the American refineries is running between $55 and $60 a barrel cheaper than the oil that it would replace that's coming in on boats from the Middle East right now.
So
and
it helps
that would
our balance
have a
of trade.
tremendous negative, push in terms of gas prices. It would push prices down at the pump, and that, frankly, is the biggest reason why we support it.
How much at the pump?
Well, we don't really, I can't get into the economics of what it would cost at the pump, but I'll say this, 80% of the price of gasoline is the cost of the oil that goes into the refinery gate. And if you are going to be able to cut down the price of the oil going into the refinery gate by $60 a barrel, we're going to see a very major push in terms of the price.
Michael Whatley is with the Consumer Energy Alliance. You mentioned that this is politics. I want to kind of, in a sense, challenge you on that. Let me explain what I mean. Politics is about people having disagreements and trying to work through them. But what you describe as the reasons for Barack Obama not approving this, when his own people have the environmental impact statement that says there's no significant problems, when you have the job creation, when you have even the labor union saying we want these jobs, the only reasons not to do it is because you were trying to cozy up with some of the extreme environmentalists. And that's not about politics. It's about cronyism. It's about doing things not because you're following the law or trying to have legitimate debates, but you're trying to make your decisions based upon whether the people on this side or the other are your friends or not your friends. That's not normal politics. I say that's cronyism, and it's part of the problem with this administration that they carry it over into everything, into the environment, immigration laws, enforcing other laws. It's everywhere with them.
Well, I think, what we spend far too much time dealing with over the past 4 years was an administration that has sought to use the rules, the regulations, and the laws that are on the books to actually stymie and stop development. What we need to do, especially while we're having conversations about a new EPA administrator and a new Secretary of the Interior and a new Energy Secretary, is we need to find people who will find a way to yes. There is a way for us to responsibly develop North American energy supplies, bring down gasoline prices, help the economy, and protect the environment. We feel very strongly that pro-energy and pro-environment are not mutually exclusive at all. In fact, the environmental safeguards that we have in the United States are the strongest in the world. And I would much rather have the oil and natural gas being developed here than somewhere like Russia or somewhere like Iran or Saudi Arabia, because that their concern over the environment is not anywhere near as significant as ours.
Absolutely. Michael, thank you so much for joining us. Michael Whatley of the Consumer Energy Alliance. And just imagine if you were over in Saudi Arabia, CJ, and people said, oh, well, instead of having 47,000 more jobs in America, we can have 47,000 more jobs in Saudi Arabia.
And that's what's happening.
They need them, don't they?
Now, wasn't Mitt Romney? Now, here's one great example of how if we had Mitt Romney as president now, if we could, wave a magic flag and everything would go back to normal, go back to the way things should have gone, wasn't he for the Keystone Pipeline and building it? I remember him talking about that and how because he thought It was just the common sense thing to do if you need jobs, which we do need jobs.
Absolutely. And Barack Obama last summer, as the election was upon us, said, I've got to keep my alliance together. I've got to get the radical environmentalists. The Sierra Club has said this is the big issue to them. This is the first time that we've advocated actual civil disobedience. There's tons of environmental groups that this is their biggie right now to them. And Barack Obama, these people are his friends. That's the thing. It has nothing to do with right or wrong, job creating or not. President Obama is putting his cronyism above your ability to work.
Yeah, that's it.
And it's a multitude of decisions like that,
and in the meantime,
that have held back people from being able to get jobs. Is it impacting you, your friends? How are you faring, and the people faring in trying to get jobs, good jobs in this economy? 202-675-1780. 202-675-1780.
And then in the meantime, he's giving tons and tons and tons of money to people like Solyndra and his green donors and all of his friends. They all get the money, but a pipeline that might actually put Americans to work because it has to deal with that, big old bad oil. That's pass. Right? Yeah. That's a common sense pass.
And typically we hear about cronyism like you described, CJ, with Solyndra. Oh, it creates jobs. Yeah, jobs that can't sustain themselves.
Sure.
But it kills jobs with those that could have created enduring, profitable companies, but they can't because they have to compete with that cronyism. It's holding you back, America.